this computer. All right. Hey, Dean. All right, I think I'm recording now. All right. Let me ask Pearl. Let me see if she's going to join. I don't know if you guys saw that attachment I uploaded yesterday. It's called like Handout.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't need to open that for this meeting, but it's just going to help later on because it just shows like all the reports and the clippings I use. It's kind of just like a support file, but you don't need to like look at it during the meeting because I'm going to explain everything.
Too late.
I also put it in the shared folder. All right. I don't think Pro's going to join, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. So how do you guys want to do this? Like, I didn't do my Cvent, I didn't do the tasks this morning because I wanted to save it for this meeting. So if you guys just want to like watch me do it, and then y'all can just ask questions along and take notes or whatever.
Okay, and if I may ask just a favor, you go super, super fast because you're so
I'm going to slow down as much as possible. And I'm going to explain every step in detail because, yeah.
And Chrissy, you're here too?
I'm here.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay, you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so every day I do Cvent DDoS integration. It's basically just registration fees and stuff from Cvent. So I always keep my stuff in the shared folder, and it needs to be updated every day. So finance, accounting, let's see, it's going to be in the Cvent details integration folder, and we are in FY20. So it's going to be this folder. The handout I attach is also in here as well, if you need to refer back to that. So I'm going to open that, and we are in August. And this is the order which I do it. I start with transactions, then distributions, discounts, yada, yada, yada. So the first thing I do is transactions. And as you can see, I already reconciled it up to the 12th. Today is the 14th, and transactions and distributions and all that, they migrate a day before. So since today is the 14th, we're working on the 13th. I already made the file. I just copy and pasted it and changed the name. So go ahead and open that. And if you guys have any questions, just holler. All right, so this is the 13th, and this is my cover sheet where I just show, the balances from Financial Force and Cvent. Obviously, I copied this from yesterday, so we can delete these. We don't need these tabs yet because it's from yesterday. This is the reconciliation tab. Delete all of that as well. All right, so the very first thing you need to do is just load the reports. Pearl joined. Hey, Pearl.
Hey.
I was just starting out with transactions and just showing them what to do. So they're going to ask questions along the way.
Okay.
All right. So now we have the bare bones file. I need to get my reports. So you get your reports from Cvent. I included the names of the reports in the handout. And the only 4 reports you need from Cvent is transactions.
Are you recording the call?
Yeah, I'm recording as well, and I'll share it after the call.
It doesn't show. Is it showing recording?
Yeah, as you see this little circle right here, it's just recording on this computer.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Got it.
Yeah. So these are the 4 reports you need. And what I like to do, hold on. Oh, I already loaded the reports, but I'm getting this weird error. That's not good. Well, I still got transactions, distributions. What I like to do is just open these in a new tab. So I open a new tab by using my middle mouse button. Transactions, distributions, discounts, other. That way I can simultaneously run 4 reports at once. Just get it out the way. And these reports should be public so y'all can see it in the system. So for each thing, you go to filtering and edit. Edit, edit. I already set the date. Like I said, Cvent migration is 1 day behind, so we need to just put the 13th because today's the 14th. And these reports already have the filters on, so you don't need to worry about that. All you have to do is just worry about putting in the date. And I don't know if your Cvent is on foreign dates or not, but mine is, so that's why I put the date first. All right, so I already have transactions. I already ran this one. I need to rerun discounts. And I need to rerun this. The Cvent transactions other, that's for Cvent payment clearing. And I'll get to that point once we get there. Just make sure all the dates are yesterday.
Sorry, you said Cvent others for what?
Cvent payment clearing. So Cvent payment clearing is like, it's like for special use cases. And I'll explain that later on. It's not that bad.
Okay.
Save. And just click run report for each thing. Run report. So while those are loading, I already got my transaction details report. So I'm just going to export it to Excel and then put it in my recon file. This discounts report just takes a long time to load. I'm not sure why I'm getting this error.
We were unable to complete.
Okay, I mean, we'll get to that point when we get there. So I exported my transaction details. That opens up. Just want to move it to my recon file. Let me know if I'm going too fast too. All right, so just name this, I don't know, Cvent transactions or something. So every time you migrate a file to a different recon file from Cvent, it makes this weird color. So you can just select all of it, Control A, clear formats. There you go. Put a filter right here. And then we want to get the EV code from the Cvent code. So I included a file on the handout. It's called, where is it? Financial Force events list.
Wait. Go back to that.
This is on my own personal one, but I'll show you where it is in Financial Force. It's just a file that shows all the events and the event codes. Actually, I don't think I put this in the shared folder. I'll do that after the call. But it's just a file from Financial Force that's like all the events. All you need is the EV code and the Cvent code. That way you can, vlook the EV codes in. All right, so EV code, and then I'm sure you all know how to do VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP the EV codes. Copy it down. And then we're going to be reconciling this with Financial Force. So Cvent doesn't have a field where it combines the first name and last name. So I need to do that manually myself. So just make a new column, contact, and then make these joined. Do you guys know this formula? Whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, just so it's one name. And then copy, paste those values, because I don't want to keep the formulas. All right, that's it to set up the report. The only thing that matters is the amount applied. So I'm just going to get the sum down here. Alt and the equal sign gets the sum of the whole column. Just to make it look nice, just make it accounting format. 620,000 yesterday. That's a lot. Just because August is a really busy month, I think, compared to other months. So there's going to be a lot of daily transactions. So now we have our Cvent report. I know I'm going to reconcile this to Financial Force anyway, so I'm just going to make a new column on the very left and just mark it as Cvents. That's going to tie into the pivot table we create later. All right, so now I need to get my Financial Force report. Let's see. So I asked Sandeep to create a custom folder, and he went ahead and created it this morning. It's called Cvent Integration Tasks. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'm pretty sure you can because it's public. I have edit access, but once you open up that folder, these are all the reports you're going to use for this whole daily thing. As you can see, that event report's right here. So if you want to export that later on, that'll give you the EV codes and the event codes. So the first thing we need is Cvent transaction details. So let's go there. And I already set the report, like don't customize the report and save it. It's already in a format that's good to reconcile. I already made the transaction date like yesterday, so you don't really have to do anything. All you have to do is do printable view and export it.
What's the difference between printable view and just exporting?
Yeah, so when you use printable view, it gives you a different format. It gives you more details to the report, like when you actually ran the report, today 11:10 a.m. It also gives you like the parameters you use for the report. It's just like a good audit thing, like to keep there. And if you use export details, it's just like a bare bones report. Like it's gonna show you each field.
Yeah, I already learned something.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dean, that for your reconciliations and any kind of audit report that you are attaching like a financial force report to, the auditors will probably want to see something more like this because it gives like the date it was generated and these parameters, and clearly identifies it as a report from financial force. But yeah, this is what we should be using when we're doing those kind of schedules.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm going to transfer this to my recon file. Right here. I don't like this big space over here. I think it's annoying. So I like to just hide these columns right here. So it just shows these. So right click each to hide it. So when you use this format, it wraps certain text and it makes it hard to format the rest of the sheet. So I just like to select everything and undo these two, wrap text, merge and center. It's just a peace of mind type of thing. Freeze the column here, add a filter. So one annoying thing about using this printable view is that the amounts, it combines the currency and the number itself. So like it doesn't read this as an actual amount. So if I try to sum this column, like it doesn't detect it as numbers. So what you need to do at that point is use the text to columns feature to separate this USD text field and the amounts. So just create a new column on the right, select all the fields that are affected, go to data, text to columns. Don't worry about any of this, just go next. Just make sure space is right there. Just check space, tab doesn't really matter. Click next, finish, that's it, boom. It's already separated. So it doesn't make a column name, so I'm just gonna copy and paste them out right here. Rename this currency or something. Sum the column. So I'm gonna rename this FF trans. So right off the bat, I can tell that something's off because the total for my financial report is 609,000, but my Cvent report is, what was it? 620,000. So right off the bat, I know that something's wrong, but we'll figure that out later. So now I want to merge the report so I can create a nice pivot table. I showed you, Dean, how to do this, right? And I actually learned this from Chrissy, so that's good. So create a new column, make system, FF, copy everything from the Cvent report to your new tab. And the only thing that matters is the EV code, they're already lined up. Order number and contact, they're already lined up. That's good. And then we just want the amounts. So you just take the amount here, cut it, paste it here. We don't need this row, delete it, Control All, and then just make a pivot table. So system is that column we already made earlier. It's going to separate it by Cvent, financial force. All we need is the event, the order number, and contact, and the amount, of course. That's it. And then do these little things to make it collapse, whatever. All right, so now I have my reconciliation. I can copy it to a new tab. This should be a difference instead of summing it. So I'm just gonna do Cvent minus financial force, copy it down. Now right off the bat, I can already see like reconciling items. So everything that's zero variance, obviously that's reconciled. Don't need to worry about that. It's just this, Fuang Nguyen, didn't migrate, looks like, his financial force is blank. So now we need to research this individually. This usually doesn't happen. This is actually the first time this month I saw a reconciling item. So it doesn't happen that often. So now we need to figure out why it didn't migrate to financial force. So I just take the order number right here and just search in financial force, just do some curious digging, I guess. All right, it didn't migrate. I'm gonna go to the Cvent order in Cvent, see what it looks like. So go back to my CNR report, search them up. Y'all know confirmation number, right? You can search that up. It might just be a date thing. So it says the 14th. So this is one of those issues where this transaction is probably created like today, like midnight. So it thinks it's the 14th. But when you run the CVent report, I put central time. So it considers like the 14th midnight as the 13th, 11 p.m. I think that's why it didn't show up in my financial force report. So let me just go back to my CMR, my transaction details report I ran, and just put 14, 8, 19. This is a rare case. And I'm just going to see it loaded. It didn't. I don't think so. No. So that's going to come in tomorrow. I can literally just take that off. Doesn't matter because we know we're going to see it tomorrow. All right. So now we're good. The total variance is 0. Now we can load.
Even still, Sehun, you can leave it as a reconciling item with a note that says its timing should come in tomorrow, so that you're not altering your reports. You know what I'm saying? You're not.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I could.
I mean that's just and it doesn't happen often, like you said, but that way it doesn't
Yeah.
ties to the actual reports.
Okay. So I'll just say will migrate tomorrow. That was created on the 14th early. All right, so now we know it's reconciled because this is the only reconciling item. I don't need these 2 tabs. All right, so now we just need to process the journals. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is that for refunds, you have to make them negative manually. So like these are all charges today, but if there ever was a refund, Financial Force Report is going to consider as a positive. So you just filter on the refund and make the amount negative yourself. That's just one caveat of using the printable view. But we don't have any today, so that's good. All right, so we know there are charges. Now we just need to count all of them. We have 65. So right now we know we need to load 65. Now we go to Financial Force. And the clip link you're going to need is on this module right here. It's called Cvent Transactions. I already have the clip link right here. It's called Cvent Transaction Details SP. Go to Edit. I already had it on yesterday. Don't worry about any of these. The only thing you need is this one, transaction type name, not refund, equals false. That means it is a refund. But since we don't have any refunds, just make this true. And then let's see, 64. It should be 65.
Is it because of that one reconciling item?
I think so, but it never even loaded to Financial Force. Hold on. That's really weird. I don't know why it's saying 64. It should be 65.
Is it like more than a member having 2 lines versus 1 line?
I mean, it's based off the financial reports report, so each thing is like individual. Like I should have captured everything. Let me just see. Oh, this is a different issue with dates. So like when I ran my financial reports report, it considered this one as the 13th,
Mhm.
but it's really Eastern time, like midnight. So when I ran my report, I need to put the 14th instead, which means I can just go back to the quick link, change this to 14, and then it should pop up. Yeah, there we go. So it's just those weird timing issues. Just happens every once in a while. It's the first time I saw it this month. So now it's 65. We know it's good. Select them all, and then convert them to staging Cvent transaction details. So for transactions, it's a little bit different. It requires 2 steps. Once you process these, you have to go to another quick link. But for refunds, it just automatically makes a journal. So there's another quick link called Staging Cvent Transaction Header. This is where you convert the transaction details to journals. Because all this did was just create batches for them. And then now we want to convert the batches to journals. So just make the dates the same. Again, you should be able to see these quick links, so you don't really have to change much. I'm going to keep refreshing this one, make sure it's all loaded. All right, so those 65 transactions created 3 batches. So you want to select all of them and then process them to a journal. All right, so while that's working, I'm going to go to my journals module to post them. And the one you need is right here, 1 SP transactions. And if you view the quick link, there's no date parameter. It's just like it just shows everything that's in progress. It's just more convenient for me because I know it's a daily task. So you don't have to change anything. So now we see those 3 batches. Just quickly make sure the dates are good. 13th, 8, period 2. Yep. All right. So now we can just post them. How much time do you guys have? Because I mean, it just took us 30 minutes just to go through this. I'm trying to go fast, but not too fast. I mean, is it bad if we go over?
No, not for me.
No, not for me.
We might go a little bit over. Okay. But is my speed good? Going too fast, too slow?
And honestly, to me, it's making my head swim a little bit. I don't know if Chrissy is more familiar with this, but and your handout report, I'm not sure if you've got, like you're saying, go here and do this report. And so if I look on the handout report and it says that report name, that'll be fine. But for me to go try and find it based on what you're going through right now, I think I would be a little bit lost. Maybe you could update your handout with a little bit more detailed instructions if it's not already detailed.
No, I purposely made it like non-detailed. I wanted to just make it high level. I just wanted that report to just show you like the reports and click links I use, and hopefully through this meeting, I can do a demonstration. But yeah, I completely understand. Like when I first started out doing this, like it took me a long time to really get it down, and I have it so down to a point where it's like muscle memory, and I
Right.
can't really see how tedious it really is for other people to just jump into it. So I'll definitely add more detail to that handout. Like,
So just for example, like the click links, if you'll say exactly what the click links are and that you've got to run it twice, you know, that kind of detail, because that's what's going to hang me up personally.
yeah,
Does this make sense to you, Pearl? Are you following all this? You do all this?
Yeah, I mean,
she
I
taught me. So
yeah, I taught him, and we talked about making sure that he specifically had the Cvent side versus the financial force side. The Excel portion of it, you know, I think it's going to be to your comfort level of how you use Excel. But it's really running those reports and knowing the list views to run for the Cvent, the financial force side. But yeah, I could follow it if I needed to.
yeah, I'll definitely add more steps. I'll add an actual tutorial. I already created a tutorial like early last year, but it was just too much, like 30 pages and stuff. So I'll try to streamline. All right, so these are posting. They're all posted now. So now I just want to run a new report to show the journals, transaction journals, and it's already set on create a date today. Don't need to touch anything.
I think
Just
that as you're explaining this too, you may be referencing your handout too, so that they can see where you are in the handout.
okay.
Um,
So want me to jump back and forth between the handout and what I'm
right.
doing?
So maybe you guys can have the handout out too. Cvent transaction. He's right now in Cvent transactions, and he's um, would that be page 4 on your handout?
Page 4.
Yeah, where it says click links needed.
Okay, he's running. Yeah,
Yes.
right now you're running reports.
This isn't a tutorial. It's just showing you the click links. So like, but they are in order. Like for click links, like we know the first one is this one. The second one is the batches. The third one is just processing the journals. And then the reports are on page, I'm on the reports now. That's page, why is it
Yeah.
not it? Page 2.
So is
Yeah,
it the reports are which
those are in
where,
order as well.
is it all of those there that you say Cvent that say Cvent in front of them and the list?
Yeah, so like these are all the financial reports we need. Right now we're on like the first phase, Cvent transactions, and these are the 2 reports you need. So now I'm on the last leg using this last report.
Cvent transaction journal. Cvent transaction. Oh, okay. I see them up above in the list, but I mean I see them down in the 2. Okay, and then distribution details and then distribution journals.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the details reports are just to show the individual transactions, and that's where you reconcile it from. The journals report is just where, just for audit purposes, you just neatly show the journals you posted and make
Yeah.
sure it reconciles the event. So like every phase, even though they use different reports, it's basically all the same principle. So like once you are able to knock down event transactions, you should be able to know how to do everything else. Because it's all, although this is really tedious, it's like very repetitive too. So that's good. All right. So yeah, now I'm on Cvent transaction journals. It's already set on today. Don't need to do anything. Just export it. Move it over. Rename this, I don't know, FF journals. Make it look nice and neat. All right, yeah, so we got the total of 609,000, which reconciles. Of course, we have that one reconciling item, which we can just ignore until tomorrow. I'm just cleaning up the report, making it look nice. Don't have to do this. Let me see. All right, so the summary sheet, just link the total amounts for each thing to the cells. So F of journal is this. Cvent is this, off by 10,000. We know that's Huang. All right, so that's it for transactions. So save that, close it. Now we're doing distributions, which is the revenue side. And this is literally the same exact thing. Same steps, just different reports and stuff. Do you guys know how to get this window out of the way?
Which window?
This one right here at the very top, the zoom window. Oh, you guys probably can't see it.
Don't
Never
see
mind.
it. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about though, right? That weird banner at the top every time you share your screen.
Oh, I kind of like drag it over to another screen sometimes.
Oh, okay, that's great. Okay, so I already ran my distribution details report, so I'm gonna export that.
So show me again how you just removed all that formatting so easily. What do you do? Like when it was the blue and the green and the red?
Yeah, so you want to select everything with Control A.
Okay, yeah.
That's going to select all the cells, and then you
Yep.
use this button right here, clear,
Okay.
clear formats.
Okay.
That puts all the fields in their pure state.
I learned something else today.
So distributions and transactions will always be equal, 620, just like last time. It's just the opposite of transactions. This is actually the same exact report as the Cvent transactions. The only difference is we don't recognize revenue for pass-through events, so it just excludes the pass-through events. And then now we are at distributions. Now I want to run this report, Cvent distribution details, to gather my reconciling transactions. So I already know that there was that problem earlier where I had to use the 14th. So I'm just gonna do that. I need to separate the currency from the amounts. Data, text to columns, next, space, finish. $609, it's that Fuang Win guy. Merge the reports. New column, call it system, branch force. Select everything from Cvent, copy it over. DB codes lined up. Order and contact is not, so select all of them. Cut and paste it where it is lined up. Amount applied. Take off this row. Control A to select everything. Insert pivot table. New. System goes in columns. Whoa, I messed up. I forgot to put the system column for Cvent. So just replace these to CV. Okay. Go back to your pivot table analyze, refresh. Now put system, events, order number, contacts, and amounts. Field settings, we don't want a subtotal, tabular form, and repeat item labels. Oops. Copy everything to a new sheet, the reconciliation sheet. This should be variance, Cvent minus branch force. Copy it down. Bold this, filter it. Same thing as before. This guy didn't, it's gonna migrate tomorrow. So just put a note, will migrate tomorrow because every time you subtotal these columns, it's going to show you the total for each. We're off by 10,950. That's that. So I don't need these anymore. I'm going to go back to my Cvent report and just highlight that Fuang guy, just in case. Add a new column, call it notes. Just say, will migrate tomorrow. So tomorrow, once this will be recognized, you can go back to yesterday's report, which is this one, and just add a new note saying it was fixed, whatever. All right, so now we want to count. Now we're ready to post the journals. So I'm going to count all of my individual items, just highlight them all, and in the very bottom right, 67. So we now need to load 67 items.
So why would they be different from the 65 that we had before?
Just because, like, let's say in Cvent there's an order, and the order has like 2 items, one for the registration, another one for like a game, I don't know, like a session, like a separate session. So that creates 2 like items within an order, but they pay for it with one payment. So that just one transaction, but 2 separate distributions. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so count them, 67. They're all payments because we know if we sort this from smallest to largest, there's no negative numbers. So we know they're all the payments. So now we are at the quick links. And the quick links we need for distributions. The first one is Cvent distribution details. And the quick link is called distributions to journals-sp. So now I'm going to go back to production. Right here, Cvent distribution details. You might have to add them if you don't have it on your menu. And then distributions to journals-sp, edit the quick link. It's already set to yesterday, but remember there's a your time issue for that one guy. So put 14th. And amount greater than 0 is 0. That means we're going to process refunds, but as we just saw, we don't have any refunds. So just put a 1 right here. That literally, it's like a switch. 0 means off, 1 means on. So amount greater than 0 equals 1. That switch is on. It's 1. It's like a binary thing. 66. Okay, so now we have 67. Select them all, and then use convert Cvent distribution detail to journals. If you're doing refunds, you have to do it separately using this button. So I'm going to do this. These don't create batches. These create journals automatically. So after this, once these are all loaded, we're going to go back to journals to post them.
So that's key to know when your distributions don't do batches, they do journals.
Yeah. And if I want to do my refunds, you just go back to edit, same quick link, just make the switch off to 0. That's going to show you your refunds, but we don't have any today. Don't worry about any of these. Just worry about the dates and the payment refund switch.
And Sehun, just very simply, the reason why we can't automate these is because those click links and the list views are pretty complicated in how you're working them in order to get them automated, these batches to run automated.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to automate all of this, but like you need a separate set of eyes to like reconcile it daily.
Yeah.
There are some kinks to sort out. Plus, I don't even think you can automate this. Like, can you tell financial reports to schedule something like this?
Yep. When you schedule it, you indicate the list view that
Oh,
it should run. The only problem is that every time you do the list view, I mean, yeah, the list view would need to be set up in a way that every day it's doing what you just did yesterday. It's set up to run normally. And it could be that we try to do it that way, Sehun, and maybe reconcile once a week. I don't know. I don't know how much time that would save for the trouble.
yeah, because right now it only takes me like 45 minutes a day to do this, so it's not really like that time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think there needs to be someone reconciling it, like a human.
Yep. Human.
I'm just gonna run my discount support because that takes a while. I don't know why I was getting a weird error before. All right, so while that loads, we're gonna check on my distributions. They're all loaded. So now we are at journals, this quick link. Now we're gonna post it to a journal. So go to your journals module, change the quick link to number 2 because we're on step 2. There's no date parameters. It's just everything that's in progress because it's daily. Just be aware of that. I just did that out of convenience. So 67, make sure the dates are good. Even though the details are the 13th, some of them load us the 14th. And I think that's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be the exact date. Just make sure that it's 67. There are going to be a period too. It's good. highlight them all. And the journal description already has the order in there, so that's good. And then post. So now these are posting, and now we wait.
Why do you have to highlight them all?
We want to post them all in one batch. So like when you click this little box right here, it selects everything, and then you can just click post,
Okay.
post them all. Yeah. And then we can keep refreshing to like check the progress. Probably will take a couple more minutes. So you see how like this is exactly the same as transactions, like same principle. Load the details, then post the journals. All right, they're all posted. Now we're going back to the reports. Now we're gonna run our last report called Cvent Distributions Journals. So go back to reports. So this folder, you guys should already see it, Cvent integration tasks. You'll have to scroll down alphabetical order and see it, and then click this little pin icon to pin it to the very top. That way it's convenient.
Let me see if I can find that. Hang on one second.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
We have excess, Dean. I already checked.
Okay.
You guys see it?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then pin it to the top.
Yep.
All right, so Cvent Distributions Journals. All the parameters are already set. Created date's already set to today, so it's going to do that automatically. So all we need to do is just export it. Copy this over to the recon file. Rename it just to be neat. I like to take these last rows out. I think they're useless, and then just put the sum. So 609,362, 609,362. Go to the summary sheet and link your cells to each thing. Revenue is, of course, a credit, so that's good revenue. Total amount applied to Cvent is going to be positive because it's basically just a transaction report. So the variance is off by that. We know right off the bat that it's going to be this. And that's it. Save it. Close out. All right, so do you guys, how do you guys feel so far?
Getting a little more comfortable.
Okay. Nice. All right, so now we're on discount details. These are new member vouchers. So we need to get our reports. Well, first, let me open up the file. Go back to August, discount details. Today is the 14th, which means we're doing the 13th. You don't see the 12th because the 12th, there actually were no discounts. No one used one. That's why it's skipping over to 13th. Also, discount details, it migrates 2 days late. So for transactions and distributions, that only takes 1 day, which is why we were able to process the 13th. But today's the 14th, which means we're only able to go up to the 12th. So since the 12th, no one used a discount, like we can't do anything today. But what we can do is just set up a report for the 13th. So we can process them tomorrow. So I'm running the discounts report right now. It's complete. So download. And we are running this report, discounts used report -SP. Okay, it was only one discount on the 13th. Usually going to be like 1 through 3 discounts a day, so it's not too bad. Transfer them over, control all, clear format, add a filter. So this field, remember voucher used, like obviously he used a voucher. This should be yes. So we need to go to his contact in Cvent and make it yes. Whoever applies the discounts, I think it's the ESSs, they should do this automatically, but they always forget all the time. So I have to go and do it. So to do that, you just copy and paste the contact and search it in Cvent. Go to his contact, edit, and then be used, yes, save. I want to VLOOKUP my Financial Force ED code. I like to create a new column called order plus contact. Oops. I'm just combining the order field and the contact field. Because when you process the journal, I like to put this field in the journal description. It doesn't automatically do that on its own.
Why do you have the column asking if it's a pass-through?
Because when it's a pass-through discount, it's going to hit payable to region chapter. And if it's a just a regular event, it's going to hit 24 deferred revenue voucher. So I like to put this field in just to see. And also because when we move on to like phase 4 indirect fees, like you have to do the recognizing indirect fees for pass-through discounts as well. But we'll get to that point. All right, so since the order date is the 13th, we know right off the bat, it didn't migrate to Financial Force. It's gonna migrate tomorrow morning because it's 2 days behind. So we can't do anything, but I'll show you guys how I reconcile it. So on click links, we are at Cvent discount details. And the first one we're gonna do is duplicate lookup. So now I'm gonna go to Financial Force. Cvent discount details. And then the first quick link duplicate lookup. This is just me checking to see if this person used this count or not already. Because we don't want people using 2 new member vouchers.
Right.
So copy and paste the contact to here. Huh, that's weird. So this actually migrated today. That's weird. It should have been tomorrow, but I guess that was good to check. I said it was usually a 2-day lag, but today it migrated today. All right, so we know it didn't exist because there's only one. So I just made a new tab with this discount detail. So this is the individual transaction. There's a weird kink in the migration where it doesn't load the Cvent order detail field. As you can see, it's blank. We need to get the Cvent order detail field so that it gets the order. So to get that, you need another thing called Cvent order details. So just open that in a new tab. Yeah, miscellaneous too. I need to add this to the handout. I didn't add this yet. And this is where you select the product name, the order number. Go back to the discount report. The product is event registration. We see it right here. It's going to be that 99% of the time. And then you put the order number right here. So just copy and paste it. This takes forever to load. It's going to take like 5 minutes. Because there's like millions of order details in the system. While this is loading, do you guys have any questions so far? Like, do you understand what we're doing right now?
I 100% get the concept. It's just I'm not going to be anywhere near as quick as you are. You said this takes you 45 minutes with your incredible speed.
Yeah, I mean it takes me 45 minutes, but I go really fast, so I don't really know how long it'll take y'all. But once you do it a few times, like it just becomes muscle memory. So there's just like little kinks that you can sort out, like the duplicate lookup, changing that new member voucher use field, and what we're doing right now. Just little tedious things you have to keep in mind.
Yeah, I would say that doing it like 2 to 3 days in a row, by the 3rd day, you should have, like, it should be more comfortable. You may not be 45 minutes, but you definitely would be more comfortable.
All right, so now we got the Cvent order detail.
What is the plan for, are they going to do it? Who's going to do it for the next couple of days while you're still here?
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, do you guys want to jump on this tomorrow to get the hang of it while I'm here? That way you can ask me questions and stuff.
I think it's a good idea.
Agreed.
Do you guys want to like split it up into, Chrissy does, part 1 and 2 and 3. I don't know.
So did I say Dean was it Chrissy or Dean, or did I mention both to do it?
You mentioned both to do it.
Okay, both to learn it.
To learn it, yeah.
I don't know. Chrissy and I will talk. Maybe we do it together.
Okay.
And we'll talk.
Okay. So I got the order detail. I want to just grab this code right here. and then copy it. And then I want to put it here. Take out the spaces. So if I try to save it right now, I'm going to get an error because multiple items were found. And that's just because there are multiple like order details, the same characters, but not the same like casing, lowercase, uppercasing. So we know we typed in this. Just look at the last, I don't know, the last few letters. We know they're all lowercase, so just select the one that matches. And then save. All right, so now we have our statement order detail. Our amount is 2,000. All discounts are going to be 2,000 USD. We have the event, the contact. Always make sure the contact field is good for Sean Shaw. Registration date is the order date, and that's the 13th of August. That's good. Now we can just create it. Journal. So as I said before, the journal description doesn't automatically populate with the order number and all that. That's why I made that custom field. So go to discount details, copy this. Oh, I forgot to put a space. Copy this, and just paste it here. Save. And since it's not a pass-through event, it's just going to hit 24 deferred revenue voucher. All right. And then for everything we're doing, the journals we create, it's always going to have this event journal type. So since we're on discounts, it's going to be discount detail. So that's good. Post. All right, we know it's posted. We don't need this tab. Now we are at
credit card check. Oh,
I put the wrong report name. The report we need is called Cvent, where is it? Discount journals. You only need to one report for discounts. So we're going to do discount journals, reports, integration tasks, discount journals. So it's already set to today. That was an adjustment I made earlier today, but let me just export this. Copy it over. So I made this entry earlier today just to reconcile an event. It was off by a certain amount of discounts. So it's kind of just like a prior period adjustment. Okay, so now we're on the summary sheet, same principle, link each thing to the thing. So that's just a prior period adjustment. Just ignore that, I guess. All right, so that's pretty much it for discounts. This one's a more like manual process where you kind of have to like research each discount. But the good thing is that it's only like a couple a day that you have to do. Okay. So now we are on credit card fees. So credit card fees goes hand in hand with transactions. This is in my opinion, the easiest one to do. So as you know, our merchant account charges 2.8% for credit card fees. So pretty much just taking all the transactions that we created earlier and recognizing the 2.8% credit card fee. So the first report we don't need any reports from Cvent. This is all done within Financial Force. So the first report we need is this one, Cvent transaction details, credit card fees. So go back to our report folder, open that up. This is basically just the Cvent transaction details report, but it's just going to show like credit card fees. So payment type equals American Express, MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. And I want to put 14 up here just to catch that weird one. So let me open up my file real quick. So we have to do that thing again to separate columns. Text the columns, next, space. Oh, make sure you create a new column before you do it. Create another column. This is going to be the original amount, the transaction detail, and then create a new column where you just calculate the credit card fee. So just take this times 0.028. And it shows you the journal number that was created, but we did in step 1. Over here, we don't have any refund credit cards because there were no refunds. So now I'm going to subtotal each column. So now we know that we should recognize this much in credit card fees today. So now we are at the quick links. For this one, it's going to be, where is it? It's going to be journals, and you're going to use these two, credit card fees to journals and credit card refunds to journals. So go to journals. We don't need any unique modules anymore. So journals, and then credit card fees to journals. So it's already on yesterday. All these are already automatically set. So you just have to click save. So now we have to kind of like count how many we should recognize. So what you do is just go to the journal number column, open up this link, and 3 journals total. So we know we need to recognize 3 journals. So like, remember how we said that there were batches of transactions for transactions? So like, even though we see like a bunch of individual credit card fees, they're all batches. So in total, we're just doing 3 journals. So they're all popped up right here. They're all payments. So select them all and use this one, create credit card fees events list view. Just click that. And then that's the automatic quick link that creates the 2.8% credit card journal. So as you refresh this, they're all done. So now we know we're good. For the refunds, you would just go to credit card refunds to journals, and you would use this one, create credit card fees refund events list view. So now we are at the last quick link, step 4, credit card fees and refunds. So the 3 of them are right here. Event general type is credit card. So select them all and post.
I thought we didn't have any refunds.
These are payments.
Oh,
Yeah, if it was a refund, the event journal type would say like refund credit card. So just three payment journals.
oh, I see, I see, I see.
Those are posted now. So what comes after that? Now that we have our journals and they're posted. Basically the same principle as before. Now we need to run our journals report. So Cvent credit card journals. So go to reports. So you see how like repetitive it is, how they're all, it's kind of like the same concept.
Yep.
So now we're going to use credit card journals. It's already set to today. Don't worry about these. They're all going to hit the 14 deferred expense bank and credit card fees for the event. I told Filter to just take out the other side of the journal because like it doesn't really help us for this recon. And I put event journal type contains credit card. So that's how we know we're capturing everything. Just real quickly look at the totals, 17,055. That matches what we theoretically calculated earlier.
Yep.
So export it. Now we have our journals. So just call it journals. Tidy up the sheet. Subtotal the value, 17,052, 17,005, whatever. Now we're going to our summary sheet. We're going to link our journals to that amount. And then up here, it's kind of like showing what we expected to calculate. So I'm just going to go and link this to this. And now our variance is 0. Everything that's expected is turned out to be the right amounts. So that's good. And that's it for credit card fees. So save it. Close it out. All right, we're almost done. So now we are on indirect fees. Indirect fees, it's kind of the same principle as credit card fees, except we're recognizing a 2% fee rates on transactions and vouchers. So like whatever we recognized before on vouchers and transactions, this is where we recognize like 2% of that for pass-through events. So the first report we need is Cvent transaction details indirect fee. I'm going to open up my file. I already made it for the 13th. That's from yesterday. Move these. Go back to reports. Go back to the folder and get the indirect fee file. Looks like we didn't have any pass-through transactions yesterday, so we don't have to do anything. Because nothing popped up. But let me double check my transactions file just for peace of mind. I can just go to the original Financial Force transaction support. And that original report, the very first one, Cvent transaction details, that's what I'm looking at right now. So that report already comes in a field called pass-through, and they're all blank. So right off the bat, we know there's some indirect fees today. Okay, but if you were to do it, it's the same thing as credit card fees. You would export this, move it to the recon file, then go to journals, and what you'll use this time is called indirect fees of journals. And then for this one, it should be yesterday. And you see how it shows all payments, refunds, and discount details. So this clip, we separated it for credit card fees, wherein it was like separate for fees and refunds. But when we use the indirect fees journals, it should pull out everything, the payments, refunds, and discounts. So after that, you just select all your items, and then you would use these two buttons, indirect fees, list view, and the indirect fees refunds. So payments and discounts, use this one, just a regular create indirect fees, and then the refund details from transactions uses this button. Oh, and also, it's kind of the same as before, like after you export the original file here, you would, separate out the currency from the amount, and then like create a new column, and calculate the left times 0.02. Like, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Let me show you.
Yep.
Yeah, let me just show you guys real quick an older file, just to show you what it looks like. So this file says 9/2/11. That means I did it on the 12th. The 12th was Monday, which means this is like the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, all that. So yeah, the same thing. I separated it out before, made sure there were refunds that time. So remember I said when you use printable view on the report export, it doesn't make refunds negative. So I made it negative on that manually, and then I did the 2% to the left. At the time, it was negative 614.10. And then you can use these two columns to count how many things you need. So like one payment, like two, or a bunch of refunds.
So there's so many refunds because probably an event got canceled. Were they all on the same event?
Yeah, I think so. Let me see. Yeah, I think it was due to cancellation.
Yep.
Yeah,
281. Yep. Okay.
Canadian Leadership Summit 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why there's so many refunds.
Sehun, I was looking at one of your report, that one right there that says chapter event on program format. Oh, this is one old. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, this is just
A
a
list
list
of,
of all the, yeah, so I can look up the EV codes on my Cvent reports. Okay, so now we're at the very last thing is payment clearing. So that one is, I need to explain that. So the report for that in Cvent is called Cvent Transactions Other. These rarely ever happen, maybe like 5 per month, but we still need to do it. So I loaded this report and downloaded it. I already did this earlier today. Like there were none.
What is this exactly?
Yeah, I'll get to that. I was just showing you how to run the reports. So like no records. Okay. So I'm gonna pull up older files to show you how to do it.
I'm gonna
So,
drop off, guys.
okay.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right. So Cvent payment clearing. Actually, let me go to a really old file from FY19. Oh, I already opened it. So this was my May monthly review. I'm just going to show you the monthly review because it shows you everything for May, and I can show you what it looks like. So when you run your Cvent payment clearing report from Cvent, it's going to give you this report. This is a monthly report. That's why it shows so many, but usually it's just like one or two, just like discounts. So this is every time Kamika uses payment type of other in Cvent. So I'll show you what that looks like. You see how it's other over here? So let me just pull one by getting the confirmation code. All right, so every time there's a special use case for transactions, Kamika will actually make it herself. She made this on May 8th, which means on May 9th is when I actually did this, because 1 day lag. So she always puts a reference in her, what she creates. And on this one, it's a $33 bank fee. So I honestly don't know like the specifics behind this. I just know what to do with it. So when that comes up in my report, it shows us this. It's going to say $33 bank fee. So you need to reconcile. You need to reclass this to a bank fee because when it migrates to Financial Force, so if I'm looking at this, I'm going to say reclass to 90 bank and credit card fees. So once Kamika creates this, she created it on the 8th. So let's just pretend it's the 9th. This is going to migrate to Financial Force, right? In method other. So as I'm reconciling this, let's change this to the 9th or 8th. Pull that up. Wait. Okay, so when that migrates to Financial Force, it's going to create this staging Cvent transaction detail. And then, like, this is what you process in step 1. Like, this is already going to be processed, right? But now we need to reclass it based on the reference. So the reference said it's a bank fee. So, like, whatever journal that this detail created back in step 1, theoretically, you need to reclass it to 90 bank and credit card fees. So hold on, I'm trying to go to the actual individual file, May 9th. Do you guys have Excel loader on your Excel?
I don't use it if I do.
I have it.
Okay. Well, I guess you can just make a journal and finish course. So like, let's say today's the 9th. I ran my Cvent report and I got this. I see all my individual transactions. We see the bank fee, $33. So whatever I created based on step 1, I need to reclass that. So I have this Excel loader tab where it's reclassing that $33. Because like when that migrated, it's always going to hit the 13 Cvent payment clearing account. This is just a clearing account. It always needs to be reclassed to something else based on the reference that Kamika provided. Does that make sense? Kind of?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I would just reclass it to 90 bank and credit card fees by crediting it and debiting it back to this one. So it's always based on the reference. Like sometimes she puts transfers. So like these are just transfers. You don't need to reconcile them because they net out. This is where like a member wants to transfer his payment to like another event. Like, hey, I want a refund and I canceled before the cancellation date, but I already paid for this event. So I want to transfer my payment to this event to a future event. And then Kamika will do the transfer. That's why you see these two.
Yep.
It's like a pair. So you don't have to reconcile anything there. For RFWT, that's a refund wire transfer. And we do that separately and concur. So every time you see refund wire transfer, you should know right off the bat that the ESS creates a refund request to concur. And then Kamika sees that refund request concur, and then she creates that Cvent payment method other. So when it comes over here, we see this 11,600 right off the bat, I know I should see a payable invoice because payable invoices come from Concur. So I need to search that up in Concur. So what I do is just like copy and paste the contact name, go to Concur. Oh, wrong one. Okay. You guys have Concur, right?
Of course. Yep.
Or like you guys can see everything, all the invoices and stuff.
Yep.
So you go to invoice, and search them. Vendor name begins with blah, 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 search it. So this is the refund request the ESS created. So daily, Kamika looks at this, if she sees this, and she knows the ESS put liability of that refund, that's when she's going to go over to his order and create this thing. So when this migrates to Financial Force, in one day, it creates a payable invoice. And you can search that with this invoice ID field. And you just search it up, and it gives you the payable invoice. I'm not sure why there's two, but so then this payable invoice generates. Oh, that was discarded. I think it's this one. So this is the pinvoice, the payable invoice that was created. As you can see, it hits the 13th statement of payment clearing account as a debit, and that automatically already offsets with the journey you made in step one. So you just have to make sure that the pins are created for this step. There's no reclassing needed for RFWT. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a lot, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's pretty much it. You'll see some rare, like some different references sometimes. Like most of the time, it's just going to be bank fees, the payable invoices, refunds, and the transfers. And that's it. Yeah, see, I mean, payment clearing, that just takes a while to get used to. Hopefully, like, they migrate. There are some tomorrow and Friday, and I can explain it again as you guys go through it. But yeah, that's it. Those are the 6 steps. Sorry for taking so long. I know this is like very tedious. Like, if I was in your position, I probably wouldn't remember anything I just said. So.
Well, I think it's a good idea for the next couple days for us to try and do it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you guys have the general idea, but I think once you actually do it, practice this on your own, like it becomes very muscle memory. Like.
Yep.
I'm sorry to bore you guys. I know my voice is very monotone. I know this is really boring, really painful, but I just have to do this because I'm going on PTO and I need someone to cover. So
Yep.
I apologize.
No, just saying we're happy to cover, and whenever you leave, you should be able to completely take a week off. It's just I'm sure this is making Pearl happy to try and get us up to speed on what you do as well. So we'll get it done for you.
Okay, I appreciate it so much. How do you guys want to split this up though? Because like,
I don't know. Let Chrissy and I talk, and
sure.
And we'll come back to you tomorrow morning or maybe this afternoon and let you know kind of a little game plan.
Okay, awesome. That sounds good.
All right.
Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you as well. All right, bye.
Bye.